Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Today, it's a matchup of a pre-game show and some news. And my boy, Jamie Gittens, is here we go. I love him, and I love him so much. And I get, and as I've said before, compared to the flashier, much flashier names, or you could argue bigger names like Nico Williams or Rodrigo, people don't give him a chance. But I think we've made the right choice. Silent value. Plus, the player is really, really good. He's not perfect yet, but I don't think it would take much to get him to have an output will that be a balance of goals and assists. If you look at his numbers, compare his numbers to that of Nico Williams, Rodrigo, and all this, if anything, the metrics that those players beat him are just assist numbers, but he can get you goals, he can create the chances. He's not perfect yet, but yeah, he's good enough that when he had a chance to play in the Champions League for Borussia Dortmund, he won a man of the match in the UEFA Champions League. The kid is good, a good signing, and even if we paid 50 million euros for him, I don't think it's too much. In today's market, it's actually cheap, and we know he's a talent. We know he will make it better, which was why we did push to sign him. Looks like I'm not using green screen here, so that's why that is looking. Of course, I'm gonna need to kill that. Give me so none. So keep dropping the like on two people. The likes do go a long way. If you're in the chat, let's hear you. Your opinion on Jamie Gittens to Chelsea. Done, you could say. For me, I'm happy. Gittens, here we go. A good signing, excellent signing. Top 1% in terms of dribbles. Yeah, beats. I think he beats Nico Williams, beats Rodrigo in multiple metrics actually. But Rodrigo is a winner. Uh, Rodriguez, he's been there, seen it all, and won everything. That's just the difference. But Gittens is more rounded than Rodrigo, in my opinion. Better for me. Nico Williams is just the more popular of the two, flashier of the two, more experienced maybe. But Jamie Gittens, what a signing for me. I hope he hits the ground running, and I'm happy that he wanted to join us. Didn't want to go anywhere but to Chelsea. That really does make me happy. So keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. 2 likes, we can do a lot better than 2 likes. We have 4 people following the show today. We decided to stream landscape mode because we have to look at the lineup. But usually when we do that, we don't get a lot of yes, people, and we have. I think that's my bro. You changed your name, but I'm able to recognize the picture. Your comment reads, let's see it. It reads, Gittens on the left. We keep Nani unless we 100% get to this end. Play a young Neymar in the central attacking midfield. Rotate with Cole Palmer. We have a good squad, really. Honestly, I don't know why people aren't happy with this. Some Chelsea fans are not happy with the signing of Kudus. And in a bit, after looking at the lineup, we'll take our time to compare his numbers to Rodrigo, Javi, Simons, Malik, Fofana, all those wingers that you'd argue were the options we were looking at. But in the end, we chose Gittens, even pushed further to sign him, even as Dortmund were playing hard balls, or for lack of a more specific language there. I think I can see what our scouts see in Gittens. Excellent signing, in my opinion. I have no complaints at all. I'm just happy the deal we gotten the deal over the line. I think he'd do well at Chelsea Football Club. So let's start looking at it. I think, but nobody's mentioning how much we paid for him. But I'm not concerned. Honestly, not knowing how much we paid for Gittens, not an issue for me. I'd still say it's an excellent sign, and I'm just happy we got the deal over the line. So that means, according to that's transfer agreement himself, Fabrizio Romano, that means breaking up Jenny Gittens, Jenny by no Gittens to Chelsea. Here we go. Deal agreed. Club to club with Borussia Dortmund, contract until 2032 for Jenny Bino Gittens, JBW, who always wanted Chelsea. I think that made a difference. He always wanted to come to Chelsea. Biden were interested, but he made it clear he just wants to join Chelsea. And for those of you that aren't happy that we didn't move for the likes of the likes of Nico Williams. Be aware that Nico Williams, he's always preferred a joining back, and I think that's on the verge of getting done. He never wanted to come to us, and plus, he would have been a much costlier option from the perspective, given his salary demands, and also how much we'd be paying to sign him. You could say the same for other. Rodrigo also wouldn't have come cheap. But for Jamie Gittens, we're getting him for a good price. Plus, he's a good player. So I'm not sure what the problem is. Why people aren't happy that we're signing this kid. I'm very very happy. A good deal, honestly. I think he would do well for us, and as one of the top successful dribblers in Europe. I think he'll help us deal effectively with low blocks. So I'm just not sure why some people are happy. And we have the captain of the community in Constantine. Thank you for finding the time to join me on the panel. The deal is done. I think we did well. And I'm going to say this one more time. If you're not happy that we signed him, you should take a step back and think about why I am wanting him in the first place. They just had to let it go because he made it clear that he wants to go to Chelsea and Chelsea only. And you can argue that had that not been the case, I don't think we'll get him for anything close to how much we're paying for him right now. But Dante, big up to you. It's been a minute. You have discipline issues, so I understand. Any Thursday, it's done. Your thoughts, Dante?
Yeah. Big up, coach.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm the one with the discipline issues. Definitely.
Yeah.
I learned from the best.
Projector,
I told
right?
you, the
Is that what you're
master.
saying?
I'm your apprentice.
Projector, right?
Of course. Yeah, I like the signing. It's a very good signing. Like I said on other shows, perfect for the system. If we play that Maresca's usual system, he's perfect for a touchline winger, right-footed. Although I can play with his left as well, but he's
Yes,
predominantly
you go.
right-footed. Yeah, quick, takes players on. We put those stats a few shows ago. We put all the stats up, so we saw all those comparisons. So yeah, he's one of the highest rated youngsters in the world as a winger. So yeah, very very good acquisition in my opinion, and I think he'll do very well because he fits into the system well. He knows the players pretty well from the youth ranks. They still play, together. So yeah,
He's played with some of our players. Who exactly has he played?
yeah, he's played with them already. I think he's played in the youth level as well, still playing recently. So under 21s. So he's perfect. He'll fit in like a glove. I think he'll be no trouble at all. It's perfect acquisition. Now we move on to the next one, but he's exactly the profile we needed. So I think they've done
That's
extremely
exactly
well to
what we
get
should
him.
be doing. We shouldn't just be signing the fancier names. And in this case, the fancier names or more experienced names are actually more expensive, unnecessarily expensive, actually.
Yeah, look, he's not cheap, but when you do it over a long period of time like we did, and the salary is very good as well, well then it's actually a really pretty good price for the talent he is. So, being English as well, that helps. That'll make it even easier for later on if you to move somewhere else in
Won't be
England.
an issue. Him adapting to the Premier League won't be an issue.
Exactly. So no problems at all. So I think it's an excellent signing. That's the one I was looking for to hopefully that we completed because it's really a hole in the squad at the moment. We don't have that right sort of predominantly right-footed winger. So
That the manager needs.
yeah, that's one tick. So we've got a couple more ticks to go, but it is early in the transfer window and we're in this tournament. So I know they are working hard in the background to make other deals happen. So we'll wait and see. But this is a very good start.
I don't know why people underrate him a lot.
Because he's not a flashy name, coach. And if they don't know him,
but they don't. Can they please take a step back, look at the numbers, and see what the numbers tell you? He's an excellent player. I don't know why. That's why
numbers and eye test both. It's just he's not a big name. He's not a star, and if people haven't seen him before, don't know him, well, they just automatically assume why are we spending so much money on a crap young player? It's just biased. It's wrong, but some people do it unfortunately because they don't know. They only know the really big names, and that's it. They don't follow other leagues. They don't follow, other teams. They just follow Chelsea or maybe a couple of other teams. So they don't have that wider scope of view, unfortunately. But as Chelsea fans, he's signed. Everybody should be on board with him now. He's a Chelsea player. they should give 100% and back him 100% and really be excited about him now that he's 100% a Chelsea player that he signed. So, yeah, back the player.
Let's just do them a favor. Let's look at how they compare with those big names that we were linked with. And I thought Helgi complaining again, and I asked him, who would you rather the club sign? He couldn't answer. He said he actually hadn't decided what winger he'd like the club to sign. And I wanted to go back and say, okay, why are you complaining about him? Some just will be happy for us to go for Rodrigo, or maybe
that's the
Nico
one they
Williams, and
wanted.
then they'd be happy without knowing that Jamie Gittens is actually the better of all the options available on the market.
Yeah, that's the player probably people wanted, like a Rodrigo, who's a big name, plays for Real Madrid, but that's just not a player we should be going for at the moment.
No, we shouldn't. It just doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't make sense at the moment.
He has over Gittens' experience. But Gittens, for me, given what the numbers tell us, the more rounded player of the two. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Yeah, coach. But like I said, big name star names. Probably the other one was Nico Williams, but we know he was never going to come anywhere else but go to Barcelona. That's the only place he's ever going to go. If he ever moves, it will be the only place. So that was kind of a bit unrealistic just because of what he said in the past and recently, that he only wants Barcelona basically if he ever moves from Bilbao. So being a local there, that's what he wants for his family and stuff. So yeah, look, I'm happy with this signing. There's not too many other players out there that are sort of comparable, that are that good at especially at that young age, that have played so many games in Champions League already and in a competitive league for a top team. Because they're Dortmund are a very big team in Germany. So yeah, I'm happy with the signing, like I said. And yeah, if you bring up the stats, I mean, he's pretty much comparable to all those other ones, all the other players we named, Rodrigo.
Metrics. And yes, the more importantly, he's an excellent dribbler. And
that's number one.
He's in the top 1%, which is important. That's going to help us deal with low blocks a lot. Go ahead if you were saying.
I can guarantee you a lot of teams would have wanted Gittens. Unfortunately, it was probably out of a lot of teams' price.
Bayern wanted him. They had to pull out because he told them
exactly.
Bayern go to Chelsea.
Bayern top team wanted him, but he only wanted Chelsea, and that's the type of player you want to bring 100%. And that's why I should back him even more, that he wanted to come to Chelsea, wanted to come back and wanted to play for Chelsea over Bayern. But I'm just saying a lot of teams would have probably bought him for a cheaper price, but they just couldn't afford it. But yeah, look, like I said, he was a wanted player. A lot of teams would have been after him. We got the deal done. So you got to give kudos to the directors and everyone else involved, because even though it took a while, it wasn't that easy of a deal, because we know why, but it is what it is. Sometimes you got to just pay a little bit over to get those talents. We are Chelsea, we're always going to pay over, because that's just how it is. Unfortunately, that's how the market dictates it. So even though we try to pay less, it's going to be very hard to do that with the name that we've acquired for Europe for the last 15, 20 years. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but I don't mind it. We've got the money to do it. He fits the profile, fits the age bracket. He knows everything. He knows the league, knows the players already. Perfect signing. Doesn't matter if you pay a little bit over. And like I said, when you stretch it out over 7-8 years, and his salary is not like one of those crazy salaries, it's actually very cheap if you really look at it. It's a really good investment.
Yeah, I agree. I decided let's use this simpler system. The other one, a lot of issues, I've emailed them. So we're going to look how they compare, how he compares to all the flashier names. But Malik isn't flashier. Malik is also one of those under the radar players like Gittens himself. But flashier names like Rodrigo, Xavi Simons. Xavi Simons, no need to. Let's add him. We went looking at Xavi Simons, but I still would choose Gittens over Xavi Simons.
He's more of a 10 though, not as a winger.
Yeah,
Simons.
Exactly. But people are comparing, feeling like we could have gone for Xavi Simons rather than Gittens. So let's hear what people in the chat has to say. Yeah, that's reads Gittens is a specialist on the left. You're right, probably behind Nico. But the Barcelona dreams is too strong. I think he might look world class at times. Yes, Nico is just a bigger name. more experience, and his exploits at the Euros probably is the reason why people are looking beyond. You can say clouding the judgment of people, not looking beyond his exploits at the Euros and looking deeper to see actually Gittens is actually a good signing for us. Right? That's just my opinion anyway. Nani on the bench again. Manu could definitely get it. So it looks like it. It could happen because here's something that I've thought about Dante. I don't think Arsenal will add him, will add Madueke to their list,
Yeah.
to their short list. If they didn't get any sort of signal from his camp or the club, or if they didn't see anything that indicates that Chelsea might be willing to sell him, I don't think they do that. But I want to get your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I think also the system that we might be playing, I'm not sure if we maybe that's why he's on the bench as well, because we might be going with a 2 up front, like we did against Flamengo. So it could be he's playing in this game, so that's why it might not fit Noni as well. So we'll wait and see exactly how they line up, but that looks the case a little bit. We might be doing that system again. We'll wait and see. Yeah, look, I mean, you know my thoughts on. Everybody knows my thoughts on Madueke. Not my favorite player. So I would be fine if it goes, but I'll also be very fine if he stays because he's still young, still learning.
Yeah.
Hopefully, should get a lot better. And having the stronger competition there will help. Having Gittens come in because Gittens can play on the right as well, no problem. Obviously, what's his name? The Brazilian, he's coming in as well, so he's going to give him a bit of a headache as well. So that might push him a little bit better. Plus, we're going to send another attacker, versatile attacker on top of that. So either way, I'm fine with it. But either way, I'm fine with it if he stays or goes. I think I've seen enough. I can give him the benefit of that, like I said earlier in a couple of shows ago, maybe another 6 months, maybe up to the January transfer window. See how he handles the more better attackers than him. And if he doesn't whine and complain that he's on the bench. So we'll wait and see how it goes. Like I said, either way, I do think the future is, though, looking pretty slim for him, in my opinion, with Quenda coming next season as well. So, yeah, the club, I think he might know that as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if his camp might be putting out some feelers as well. We'll see what happens. Yeah, still a long transfer window away. If anything does happen for him that gets done, that'll be at the end of the transfer window anyway.
Yeah. So big up to you too, Cole Palmer. I would prefer Mohamed Kudus linking up with a prolific striker. Either of the victors. That's according to Debayo Balogun. Nice to see you, my bro. I hope you're doing well. Big up to you too, Jay. We'll get to the lineup in a bit, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We can sell Nani. We cannot sell Nani. Not yet. The chemistry he will have with Gittens will be extraordinary. He will be looking up more to find him. Okay, let's see what happens. Wish he was Simmons. Over Joao Pedro, but let's hope for the best. Simmons, there's no guarantee he does well in the Premier League, but Joao Pedro carries less risk. That makes sense. We're probably need experience and leadership mixed with the young lads. Chances are we'd still sign more experience, but this squad, I think they're growing. Signing more experienced players, I don't think it matters this time now. They're maturing, and they want something. That makes a whole lot of difference if you're not paying attention. But that's fine. That's the way you're saying something so that we can compare them and then move on to looking at the lineup. Then come back to transfer news. Yeah, because rumors are that we did put on a bid for Joao Pedro and it was pushed back. Also the same for Mohamed Kudus. Looks like we want them both. We don't just want one of the two. We want both players. Let's say if you were saying something.
Just with the Gittens, who was saying it there, Toby was just saying there with the Noni and Gittens. Well, they're going to be playing on opposite wings, so they're not really going to be looking for each other that much. And Noni doesn't really look for other players too much, to be honest. So, yeah, I don't think they'll be linking up too much together. That's why the striker's there to look up for the striker. Maybe every now and then back post if they can, but like I said, unfortunately, that's not Nani's strong suit. He doesn't really look for players first. He looks for himself first, then the players later, which usually is too late. But yeah, Gittens, look, he's similar to Nani. He's a direct winger, but he shoots with his left and his right equally as good. And yeah, that'll be a big difference. And he does play with his head up quite a lot, which Nani
Yeah,
still
that's
has not.
what gives me hope that his assist numbers will definitely improve.
Exactly. And that'll grow as well. And that's why it will probably grow a lot more as well. The problem with Nani, he still hasn't learned to keep his head up when he's crossing the ball. Once he gets that mastered and that will add a lot of assists to Nani and goals, extra goals. But unfortunately, he hasn't mastered that yet. I look at it every game. I keep my eye on it that he's doing it, and he's not doing it. And that just wastes a lot of chances for us. It wastes a lot of possession, it wastes a lot of chances. And that's not what you want. And I don't think he's improved that in the last 2.5 years he's been here. He has not improved. So, yeah. Anyway, we move on.
All right, move on. Let's look at what the numbers tell us. So we have Gittens here. Gittens in what color? Let's look at this. Gittens is in blue. Then Rodrigo and others, you can see them. So Gittens, in terms of non-penalty goals, it topples them. Dribbles, he topples Nico Williams slightly. Carries, he measures with Nico Williams. Javi Simons is also there. Javi Simons not close in terms of carries, not close in terms of dribbles. So we need somebody that's an excellent as Gittens is in dribbling. Doesn't shy away from taking an opposition player. That would go a long way for us in terms of dealing with low blocks. Getting goals, he said he likes his team to be shared amongst the forward line. He doesn't want an attacker getting 40 goals because that's an issue. I hope you understand why he said that. If your striker is the only person that gets the goals, then you're in trouble. You're not going to be able to achieve anything serious. It's not going to happen because once your attacker is knocked out of the game, you're done. So Gittens can get goals, he can create, but that's an aspect. I'm coming down to it.
Go for it. The little ones after you. Someone's crying. So looking at those numbers there, you see the carries, dribbles. Yeah, he's a high dribbler. Like you said, Simmons is lower, but that's also because he plays a bit more in behind the striker. A little bit different. When you're at a winger out wide, you do get more chance to dribble in open space and take players on. So that's why that's higher as well. Obviously, the wingers. That's why I said Xavi Simmons plays more centrally. It's more of a 10. So those numbers are really not gonna be quite similar. But yeah, definitely the dribbles.
But why are people comparing them in the first place?
I don't know, to be honest. Look, he's drifted left. He's played left as well on the wing. He can play Simmons, but he's predominantly plays that more second striker 10, more for Leipzig. Like Nkunku played that position basically. So, but he has the capability because he's got the speed and the technique. He can be a winger as well. But they don't use him there as much. So that's why those numbers are down in dribbles. Because obviously he's not going to dribble that many people on. When you're one-on-one wide, like I was saying, it's very different.
All right, let's remove Simmons. It makes more sense now. So Gittens, for me, the only thing that needs to improve a little bit more is assists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's the one. Yes,
and I think as he matures, I think that he have an output with a good balance of goals and assists. For me, he's an excellent signing, but unfortunately, the big names, that's all they want. And for me, for instance, in the case of the lab, he was never my first choice, but I took a step back and looked at things and realized it's actually a good choice. There's no guarantee Osimhen comes to the Premier League and does well. But yeah, people will trust him more because he's done it consistently across big leagues or multiple leagues. But there's no guarantee he comes to the Premier League and replicate the sort of form he showed in Napoli and all that. But that's fine. Anyway, let's get to looking at the lineup. Let's see. Dante, I'm quite sure you've seen it. I'm not sure why the correct lineup isn't shown here. Okay, there you go. We have it. What do you think of the lineup? You went away again. I refreshed that and you went away. Maybe it's still show, but I'm quite sure you've seen it. What do you make of it? Would you rather anybody start anywhere there? For me, I'm happy Nani could drop to the bench. he's not done well in the competition, in my opinion. If anything, he's
Yeah.
struggled. But let's see your thoughts.
Yeah, look, the only surprise probably would be Betty Shield starting. That's probably the only one, really. Other than that, pretty much standard. Yeah, Madueke, I thought he might drop as well because he hasn't been playing well. He hasn't been handling it well at all. So I thought maybe he will drop. We'll see what Palmer does if he's actually playing on the right. He didn't do much at all there. He didn't play well at all on the right-hand side in the Flamengo game. So it looks like he will be on the right, but we'll just wait and see exactly what the formation is when they play, because that could be a little bit different. Like I said, it might be a bit like the Flamengo one, when then that way it will be more Neto up front with the lap, and then Palma and Fernandez more in behind a little bit more as 2 10s, and then maybe even Cucurella pushing up. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's on there like that, but it might tell us differently when they actually line up when the game starts.
It would definitely be a fluid approach.
Yeah, look, yeah, like I said, because he's done it already in the competition, he might be going back to that again, trying that formation. But I probably hope he doesn't. I hope he just stays to against the Benfica, our usual formation, because we've navigated through the group now, no problems. We tested out a couple of formations there, that's fine. But now, yeah, I think this is a knockout now, so I think he should definitely go back to our old formation.
I think it's being more defensively cautious here.
Yeah, well, with Lavia and Caicedo there, you will be. Yeah, 100% you will be. You got the two. We know when they do play together, we're always going to sit a little bit deeper. And we're going to control the ball a bit more possession. But yeah, but he kind of had to do that the way Benfica do play as well. Benfica play very similarly. They've got the midfielders in there that do that. Basically a trio of them in the middle as well. So I think he's also matching that up a little bit, not giving them the upper hand as well. So it just makes us much more solid playing with Lavia there as well.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely a back three.
I think it will be, yes. Cucurella will be pushing. I think Cucurella might be pushing in this game up. He might be pushing up more. We'll see what happens. He might be He might have a bit of a defensive duty on the right hand player, because there's a bit of speed there. That's the only part where they have a lot of speed, and a bit of nous, obviously, with their what's his name, the Argentine plays there. What's his name? I forgot his name now. The more experienced player, but he's still got a lot of speed for an older guy. So he might have that assignment there to push him back when we're in possession, but also to keep an eye on Di Maria. To keep an eye on him as well.
Di Maria these days? Is it still?
No, because he only weighs 50 kilograms, coach. He's still quick, very quick. He's very lightweight, so he's still very quick because of that. I've seen him play a couple of times at one of the games in the tournaments. He's still very quick for his age, and very smart, of course. He knows every little trick in the book. He's very smart.
Very smart player.
He's going to try and get under Cucurella's skin. He's going to try to get him yellow carded or sent off. I can guarantee you that. So I think Cucurella's probably got a defensive assignment on him. Keep him busy, push him back, put that pressure on them and push him back, and also the other way as well. But yeah, I think that's that matchup there. That's why he's kind of played him there. So we'll see. I think it'll be a 50-50. He'll go up, but he'll also watch Di Maria very closely, because that's one of the most creative guys, even that age. Di Maria still is a very key player for them.
Yeah. More likes, keep dropping the lights on the stream. 9 likes. The lights do go a long way. This year, high five to you too, Javelin and Shimalo. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. And Vic here, yeah, you win. Okay. Nobody knows how much you paid for him, so don't take a victory.
The 55 million pounds we paid, that's fooled. That's not. So that will be including bonuses.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we'll still get it for a good price, but we'll look at it later. Here we have Mikel Ransom Palmer, right winger. It's like a plain Bellingham out of position. You then get the best out of it. Palmer is our number 10. We don't know the application. I think probably Palmer will be central. We don't know. Yep. So Mikel could stop ranting. He should know that what you see, the structure you see, that's why we call it the starting structure here. I think things change the moment the game starts.
Looking at that, go ahead. You're looking at that, coach. James don't be surprised if Cucurella stays back, maybe as the left centre back, and maybe James pushes up along Palmer. That could also happen as well.
Yeah, we could see that. Yeah. And how do they
Something
play?
a little bit different.
I don't know how they play.
What's Jay saying there?
Sorry,
just reading what Jay's saying because he's addressed it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't fit well, but that I don't think. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna play that. I'm just saying when we
Now, if we play that
experimented
with
with.
someone else comes in.
Yeah, exactly. It's just something we experimented in, maybe for the future. Obviously, Maresca said it's just a experiment for the future. If he ever needs to play two strikers at the same time, I think, yeah. But I think Jackson got sent off. He kind of ruined his plans when that happened. So being suspended, so he can't really do that. It's even in that game, yeah. So doesn't matter. We'll wait and see. But I think it will be our old formation most likely.
All right, for some of you that are watching Fabrizio, it looks like he just released another video. A high-cut mix Joao bomb. Could it be Joao Felix going to somewhere or Joao Pedro? Maybe. Mbeumo, Duran, Hoyland, and Chelsea ×2. So there's something probably has news on another player that Chelsea pushing to sign off. I've signed out on. I can't watch it right now. But that's why really thank you. For me, I think it's a good lineup. I think Madek is going to be sold. Maybe not. I don't know. It's Palmer is on the winger, but a creative master behind the striker. I'm not going to complain where Palmer starts because he has freedom. He almost always has freedom to roam, to be wherever he thinks fit on the pitch. And remember, we always play with a fluid approach. So where he starts doesn't really matter. Have you not seen, once the game started, have you not seen Enzo Fernandez on the flanks too, operating as a winger? So yeah. I'm not complaining. So because maybe he just has to talk about something.
He's always going to complain about something, that guy, seriously.
Yeah. So that's not an issue for me, really. I'm not seriously not going to complain about that.
Pretty much 80% of the fan base was saying they want to see Palmer play right wing.
And when he did and didn't do well, they started complaining again.
Exactly. Exactly. And now he might be there again, and they're complaining, why is he there again? So you just can't make this fan base happy, whatever Maresca does, to be honest. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah. As I said, look, if you look back, I wasn't paying attention until I read that on Vince's timeline that in 12 games we've only lost 2 games, and in those 2 games we lost, we finished those games with a man down.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, we finished those games with 10 men, and in those 2 games, the 2 red cards were straight red cards. Nicholas Jackson. We've been doing well, but because they don't like him, they can't look beyond the hatred for the manager and the owners to accept, yeah, he's actually done well. Whether you like the recruitment, the strategy or not, you have to give him some credit. I don't think they don't respect him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
So if you walk on water today, they start saying you might as well go check under his feet. There's definitely some plants there.
Yeah, and as soon as something
not sinking. Go ahead.
Yeah, and as soon as something happens that's wrong, or we lose, or something, they're just gonna go crazy and absolutely flog it till everyone agrees with them, just because to prove a point. Well, you shouldn't be a Chelsea fan if that's the case. If you want to prove a point, I mean, that you shouldn't have that. You should have your Chelsea glasses on most of the time, and basically support the team and the manager. They're just looking for something wrong every time. That's all. They're just sitting there in front of the
aspect. They just want to be right. That's the annoying aspect. For instance, let's use Vic now. We know Vic doesn't like the manager.
Yeah.
But he can be objective. He speaks objectively. He doesn't want to be right. You get the point. But there are those that you see will sign someone. That was why I had to go ask help that person. Okay, who would you rather we sign? And he couldn't answer. Telling me how he would like what's in. No, but I asked you who would you rather we sign if not Gittens. He couldn't come up with any. I was waiting for him to say Nico Williams, and then I'd ask him, okay, have you compared their numbers? And you just don't. Sometimes it's annoying to see those type of people because it's not okay. Go ahead, what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just that's how it is, coach. Don't worry. Once we're actually up there and we're winning, and you're competing for Premier League, Champions League, etc. Well, then that will hopefully that will change a little bit. I still doubt it. The hardcore ones will still not change. They already said it. They will not change till the day Maresca leaves, or the owners basically till they leave. They won't change, which is unfortunate. It is what it is. But yeah, once we start getting to that level where we can compete for the Premier League, for Champions League, which is not too far off in my opinion, the next year or two that will happen. Then you will be able to sign a lot of different type of players as well. A lot of those more
They've actually
superstar
started
names.
mixing it up. We're looking for
Yeah,
more
that
players.
superstars names will be available, and they would want to come as well because we're there. We're competing, and we've got the base for it, which you got to give credit to the supporting directors. The base is there. It's good. It's good. They got them young. The last 3 years they've grown together, but the base is there. You've got probably 80% base of really solid, some world class players, some borderline world class players. That's only going to get better in the next couple of years. And when they get there together in the next couple of years, this team will be very hard to beat all in the Premier League and in Europe. So yeah, things will change. The next couple of years, you'll see we will be going for those bigger names when they become available. There's really not really that many available at the moment anyway to sign, to be honest.
I do think the biggest problem is that how people use age and experience interchangeably. That's why probably most people don't appreciate the fact that we actually do have good experience in our sport. It's not perfect, but it's close.
Well,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
we
saying?
do.
As they mature, again, they've won something together, and I think that makes a whole lot of difference. And
Right.
people will see that in the this season, in my opinion. But that's by the way we've looked at the lineup. Now let's talk about the Joao Pedro to Chelsea. Is he a player you like, and who should we be comparing him with? Actually,
Yeah, look, he's okay. Not my preference. Probably not my preference. Definitely. We talked about Xavi Simons before. I would probably prefer him over Pedro. It just depends what the coach wants him for it as well. If he wants him to, play as another striker, well, then maybe Pedro would be more suited. Obviously, Joao Pedro would be more suited. If he wants him to play more of a out wide or in behind a 10, I would definitely go for Xavi Simons in that case, or Mohamed Kudus. Yeah, he's probably the best one out of all of them, to be honest.
looking to sign Kudus too. Joao Pedro, he only has 22, 23. Looks like he was out. 22, 23 numbers. We don't have 24, 25.
He didn't play that many games, and I think that's probably why, because he was injured as well. Injury, and then took him back. Kind of lost his spot for a while, and then got it back, and yeah.
Okay. Compared to Xavi Simons, he's a better dribbler. Numbers, games played, Joao Pedro played a lot more. So you could argue, given the fact that he played more games, pretty much equal. Not penalty goals, he scored more goals than Xavi Simons.
It's not a good comparison, coach. Not Watford. Not at Watford. That's a bit different.
Yeah, it's not.
That's old.
Not,
That's very old, yeah.
22, but I use 23, 24 for both. Oh, the other one is 22, 23 for Joao Pedro, actually. He doesn't have 24, 23, 24 numbers, but not a bad sign, but I don't know if you were done speaking about it.
Look, if you want more number 10 and can play out wide, I think Simons is the one because he's you saw the assist numbers are through the roof. He's very good at that. And that will really help the wingers as well and everyone else. And the striker up front. So Simons probably for that. Kudus, if you want strength, power, physicality, well, then you go for Kudus because he can run with the ball. He can score very well. He's a very good shooter. For me, Joao Pedro is a bit in between everything. He's a bit of number 9. He's a bit of a 10. Not really out wide because he's gotten a bit taller and he's put a little bit of weight on and he's not very fast. He's very slow now. He's much more of a slow pace player, very much like Nkunku is now. He's turned into very similar like that. So that's why I wouldn't go for him. I would not go for Pedro because of that. I think he doesn't really suit the players that will be playing around him. You saw how Nkunku, how much out of place he looks along all the other players that are quick and it just doesn't really suit this. I think Pedro will be very similar to that, in my personal opinion. I would look at Simmons or Kudus, those two, for me, first over Joao Pedro.
Yeah.
Just because the way we play. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking for where we can see how much we paid for Gittens, really. I haven't seen it
It
anywhere.
probably hasn't come out yet. Those details are probably kept. They haven't. No one's going to release that till that they put it on the official sheet. That's not coming out.
Score page is 64 million euros. Which
Yes,
is
it's
around
55 million
5.
all up with bonuses. So I'm not sure. It'll
Yeah.
probably be like 45 maybe pound and then 10 million in bonuses, something like that. Usually that's how they go. Could be even 40 with higher, but most likely it'll be 45 with 10 million bonuses, most likely, which is a very, very good price. Like I said, when you stretch it out over a 7-8 year period, and when his salary is going to be on par with everyone else, it'll probably be that 100 and something, 120 maybe. Well, then that's a really, really good deal. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes before we go. I don't know anything that you want to talk about. We've also there are rumors also that we did bid for Kudus and it was rejected. But the talks with let's read this. So Chelsea have had an initial approach for Joao Pedro knocked back, but negotiations are ongoing, and there's a feeling that the 23-year-old will favor a move to Stamford Bridge. Some are saying that he rejected Newcastle's offer on the table for him. It's a smart move because he knows the Premier League already. You can't say the same for Xavi Simons because what I'm hearing right now, the Newcastle are now pushing to sign Xavi Simons because, probably he's told him he wants to join Chelsea or something. But that's by the way. Anything else you want us to talk about?
Not sure I believe that too much, to be honest, Coach. I'm not sure if these reports time, but I don't know if I believe these, to be honest. I don't. Who would tell him that? Like Chelsea will not be telling him that. That's for sure. Brighton and Chelsea have a very close knit connection, as we know. They will not be.
People see it. I think they have a good business relationship.
They will not be releasing any information out if those two clubs are doing business. I can guarantee you that now. So I do not believe in this at all, to be honest. I think it's just rumors as usual. People saying all sorts of things. It's all over the place. Unfortunately, everyone's saying different until the actual big guys come out and say it, and it's pretty much a here we go or very close. I don't believe any of this stuff because I know for a fact Chelsea said they want to keep all their business very in-house, very close, and they don't want any leaks. So not from the Chelsea side anyway. And we're doing with Brighton a deal. They're very close together. They know each other very well. So I don't see there'll be any leaks, to be honest. I just don't see that. Only probably from the players' camp. That's the only part. But that would not look very favorable towards the player if that happens, I think.
Yeah. All right, people. I think that's it. We've covered the lineup. We've covered the most current transfer news are out there. See you guys after the game. We'll try to do a post-game show, definitely. Hopefully we'll get a win so that people can be in good mood and come find an avenue to bash the owners and the players. But thank you. I appreciate you all for finding the time to be part of the conversation. See you guys during the post-game show. God bless us all and cheers.
Take care, guys. See you soon.